Hello friends and channel members. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator and another video. With a recently released add-on by Black Square Simulations. I guess it's fair to say that I am a little bit late to the party. This has been released for, I believe, 2 weeks now. Almost. But I was on vacation and joined into the party a little bit later than everybody else. But what we will do today is we'll take a look at the aircraft. We'll take a look at the cockpit and see how Black Square's add-on improves the default King Air and what it offers. We'll do a quick cold and dark startup and maybe leave it there. If you guys want to see more of this aircraft in a full flight, like takeoff, climb, cruise, descent, landing, please let me know. But today we will stop after starting the engines. And this will be a quick review of what this aircraft provides with the Black Square's steam gauge overhaul, and see if this is something for you. I hope this gives you enough information to make that decision. And if you want to see more, as I said, let me know in the comments. Alright, we are currently in Canada, Bella Coola Airport in the Canadian Rockies. In between the mountains, as you see, there's snow everywhere. It's almost winter at the northern hemisphere, and this part of the world is a little bit colder than the rest of the northern hemisphere, and it has snow. I believe this is true to life, so it might be snowy at this point or at this time of the year there. I'm not sure, I haven't been into Canada yet, but guessing with the elevation and everything, it is possible. We'll jump into the cockpit. I have a VFR flight plan today, so if you guys are interested in seeing this aircraft, that's what probably I will fly, VFR. And if you are interested in IFR, let me know, and there will be a second video where we take a look at the avionics and what you can expect and how you are going to navigate the virtual skies. Anyway, we are in the cockpit. This is usually a white panel, but I found a mod under flightsim.to that makes it dark gray, which I like better than the white. So that's what I'm using, and the link to that mod will be, or the texture mod will be in the video description if you are interested and want to get it for yourself. All right, let's see what Black Square brings to the table with this add-on. Fuel panel is the same. I can't remember if the default King Air had free air temperature display here, but I believe it doesn't. So don't quote me on this, but I think this is from Black Square as well. Not too much changed for the fuel panel, but below that, the circuit breakers, everything here is now applicable and works, and these circuit breakers are tied to their underlying systems. So if a circuit breaker pops, that system will not work. Over on this side, a lot of steam gauges, which is one of my favorite things to have in a GA aircraft. I am a big fan of steam gauges than glass cockpits in a GA aircraft, and I think this makes King Air a much more fun aircraft and enjoyable aircraft to fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The default King Air is not too bad, but I think it is not at this level, and it had some issues that has not been fixed by Asobo. So the Black Squares mod or add-on aims to fix those things, but they have also ran into some roadblocks, and it's in their changelog or release notes that there are some things that they couldn't find a workaround. So those things are waiting for Asobo to either give them a fix or tell the developers how to fix those with their custom code. Anyway, over on this side, all the switches you see here are working, and you can click everything. External power, avionics master, battery bus, inverters, bus sense, generator ties, ignitions, auto feather, which was not working in the default King Air, engine auto ignitions, engine anti-ice, all the light switches, all the ice protection systems are modeled and working. The audio panel or the comms panel, or the audio panel rather, everything here works too. The altitude selector here is custom. All the nav radios, COM nav radios, they are custom modeled. The cabin electrical system, bleed air system, and the heating system or AC system works. Cabin air switches here. The cabin oxygen system is also modeled and works. This is using the default Asobo autopilot with some custom coding as far as I read from the manual. The pressurization system works though, and the voice recorder is modeled and works, and the needle moves as you speak. In the middle, you have the aviation or avionics stack. You can change this by this switch over here. You can either have a conventional radio navigation equipment, or you can have a GTN 750. I can come here and move this switch. There we go. GTN 750 or a GNS 530. So these are the three options: radio navigation, GNS 530, and GTN 750 for Nav 1. And this bottom one is either does the same thing, radio navigation or GNS 530. This has two options, not three, because that's your secondary, and GTN 750 is not an option for the secondary. I'd like to keep it as Nav2 radio only. The oxygen system, pressurization system, everything here works. Everything over here works with a custom DME as well. Overhead, everything you see here works. Instrument emergency lights, this turns on a blue light for you to see better at night. That works too. All the knobs over here and the master switch works as well. That's a quick glance. Not too much stuff at the back. Oh, the oxygen masks, they do work too. Get some fresh oxygen from there. Oops. Turn it off, please. All right, we just consumed some oxygen. Emergency locator transmitter is also modeled and works. So that's a quick glance at what Black Square's add-on brings to the table, and I think this makes King Air more sophisticated and fantastic aircraft. In my opinion, the default King Air to analog King Air, it makes King Air a simple to operate startup aircraft to a much more complex piece of equipment. And it brings some deep system simulation too. I think this is making the biggest difference when it comes to what to expect. Exterior model, this is default King Air, so nothing has changed here. I believe by Black Square, so don't expect to see anything different here. Anyway, so this is the quick view or review or look to the cockpit and the systems, but we will start the aircraft and then talk about different options a little bit more before we finish the video. So the startup procedure, I'm not gonna follow this huge checklist. It is very detailed and everything here is done in a way where you can go and see. So if you want to do this, you can do it on your own time, but I'm not going to do it. It's going to make this video too long. Instead, I'll do a quicker version of that. Before we turn the battery power on, we have to check a couple things. Standby pumps are off. Auxiliary transfer override switches are in auto position. Engine auto ignition is off. Engine NTI is off. Inverters are off. Ignition switches are off. Lights are off. Anti systems or ice protection systems are off. Bleed air is off. Cabin master is off. And condition levers are at cutoff. Prop levers are at full feather position, and throttle levers are at idle position. Pressurization You can play with this, but we are going to set the altitude to 0 for now and leave it there. And that's about it. Oxygen, we can pull that out to ARM. And now we can introduce battery power to the aircraft. Battery power on. Some nice sounds are added by Black Square, but this is mostly default King Air sound set with some custom cockpit sounds from the systems and things running in the background. That light is showing that our cabin temperature is super low when it illuminates blue, and you can tell by checking here it's 44 degrees Fahrenheit or 6 degrees Celsius, so we need to warm the cabin before we board the passengers, otherwise they will be freezing. Also, the battery is, why cannot I hold this? Okay, showing 24-25 volts roughly, and we should think about starting the engines before we wait on battery power too much. We are in a cold climate, so we'll turn the engine anti-ice on first and wait for the engine anti-ice. And the actuators are running in the background. You hear the sounds, I believe. Waiting for the engine anti-ice illumination or initiation illuminated here. And we also need to turn the nail lights and beacon on because we are getting ready to start the engines. Engine anti-ice is eliminated. That means engine will be protected with the anti-ice system when we are trying to start. So we'll put the starter to on, and that will start spinning our propeller, and we are waiting for the turbine RPM to pass 18%, and we will introduce fuel by pulling the condition lever to low idle. Immediate spike at ITT, and then it will settle down. We see fuel flow now. Oil pressure and temperature is in the green, and we passed 50%. Starter can come off now, and we are waiting for the engine to stabilize. All right, looks like we are stable. Oil pressure and temperature is in the green. Fuel flow looks normal. ITT looks normal, and we can start the right generator by turning it to reset and then releasing the switch to turn the generator on. We can also check the generator here. It's producing, and the load is on the generator, so DC load is taken by the generator, and our battery should be charging now. Still not. Hopefully it will when we start the left engine. So we'll put right engine to high idle to provide enough power to start the left engine. We'll put the left engine anti-ice on and wait for the illuminated initiation or elimination of the engine anti-ice light. Takes a while. Nothing is instant. There we go, and we can put the left starter on and do the same thing. RPM, waiting for that to pass 18%. It now is about 18%, stable at 20, introducing fuel. Spike at ITT, we see fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature looking in the green, and they are increasing too. RPM is passing 50%. We can turn off the starter now and wait for the engine to stabilize. Alright, looks like we are looking okay, and then we'll reset the left generator and put it on, and we should see left generator generating some voltage as well, and our battery is still showing negative amps. Hopefully it will start charging. There I'm looking to the annunciations here. Auto fader off, pitch trim off, rudder boost off. These are normal. We will turn them on. We will turn the bleed air system on as well. In fact, we can do it right now and pull this lever back to ground idle or low idle, and bleed air is on. We should see the pressure coming online over on this side. That's the pneumatic pressure, and with bleed air on, it should start moving. We can also turn the temperature control to auto and put the electrical heat on. And we can get the prop levers out of feather position. It should give us, hopefully, good engine start and prop RPM. Alright, everything looks okay here. And the bleed air system is now working. We should see the cabin temperature increasing as well, which it is 9 degrees already from 6, so we are warming up the cabin as well. Well, fuel quantities, we should have checked this before we started the engines, but we have 650 pounds of fuel in the main tanks, and it's balanced, and we have roughly 250 on each auxiliary tank. That's now checked. We can now turn on the avionics and see that startup sounds and animations here. This is great. This is looking great. Okay, so avionics on. Oh, and this should be in standby position. Weather radar. All the switches here are transponder, and you can set it from here too. It's standby. Weather radar standby, nav radio, ADF, transponder, comm radios, etc. We can turn the cabin master and furnace to on position. This is the coffee furnace, by the way, and we can put the lights, cabin lights, to dim. Electrical heat is on and engines are running. We can put the inverters on. That will give us AC power as well, and we can see it here. We are generating AC power, 400 Hertz, and we'll put the master panel lights on. No smoking signs on as well. So there we have it. Our engines are running. Our cabin is warming up, 14 degrees already, and that's a good engine start for the King Air. From here we have to set the pressure to the local barometric pressure 1014. Set your cruising altitude for today's flight. It's going to be 18,000 for us, and you can select whether you are using GPS or nav radios here. That message always comes, and that is pretty much it, except the taxi. So this is the startup. We need to turn the rudder boost and electrical trim switches to on. Those are the initiations we see here. Auto feather, we'll worry about that when we are getting ready to taxi. That's this switch here, which should extinguish that. And the pitch, prop pitch, you have to move them full forward for those initiations to extinguish. Increase the RPM eventually and extinguish those lights. Alright friends, I think this is going to be it for today's video. I'm pretty sure there are more to this, and I probably forgot a couple things here and there, but If you want to see more of King Air, just let me know in the comments and we can do another video, maybe a little bit deeper in the startup procedures. By the way, you can test the fire loops before you start the engines as well if you want, and you can check the oxygen levels right here. So we have full tanks. Before I leave, this aircraft also brings in failures where you can select. As you see, the engine conditions are here. You can refill the oxygen and reset all the failures. And this is the failure rate you can increase and display the active failures. You can set some random or scheduled failures, or you can do some detailed settings on how you want to experience or simulate these failures. So that's a lot of stuff to digest and take in, I guess, but now the King Air becomes a very complex piece of equipment for us to enjoy and fly. This is something I was looking forward to. Turboprop, twin turboprop with proper system simulation, and I think I'm gonna enjoy King Air going forward. So let me know what you think about this aircraft, if you already tried it or have it in your hangar, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.